fun of you because of your political views, you don't get your feelings hurt. You take satisfaction in the fact that you're out there being attacked, that you've got courage, that you've got strength, that you've got moral authority, that you've got moral courage. People say, oh, isn't it terrible to be demonized and attacked? No, I love it. Not because I'm a glutton for punishment. No. These bullies are attacking me and demonizing and lying about me from above and below through COINTELPRO and through national media and government levels, because I'm hurting them and I'm going to go on hurting them. So even though I don't at a certain level enjoy it, I've even learned to enjoy it at a personal level, because I know it's a sign of victory. Not that I'm in good shape, but I've gotten in a little bit better shape. And I finally got to that point when I hit about 5 miles running, where it's really painful and I feel nauseous and I just run through it. And then I can just run and run and run. And it's kind of like that politically. You've got to get to where, you know, like back when I used to lift weights a lot, and I'm sitting there trying to bench press 230 pounds 20 times. And at 10, you think you can't go anymore. And you just say, I'm going to do this another 10 times. And by the last time you do it, it is super painful, but it feels so good. And when you walk out of that gym, you've got so many endorphins flowing through you, you think you're on cloud 9. And it's the same thing. The only thing worth anything in life is what comes hard. What comes easy, you never appreciate. It's just that simple in life. Things that come hard and things that are valuable, things that are good for society, your gut will tell you, this is good what you've done. And it's literally your subconscious, your basic human programming says you ought to feel satisfied right now. You know, even if you're told something you're doing is good, but it doesn't feel right. Let's say you're a police officer working for the system and you do something and they tell you it's good, but it doesn't feel right. There's a reason it doesn't feel right. Your brain is conservatively hundreds of times more powerful than your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is only a limited focus of your overall intellect. And if your gut, that's what you call it, your nose, whatever, says, I don't like this, well, you better really then intellectually think about it, and then you'll get the answers. You've got to examine why you're not getting a good feeling, see? You get a good feeling from something. I don't mean a good feeling like sex or partying. Those are bestial, low-level good feelings. I mean, if you're not getting a good feeling about where you're going to church, if you're not getting a good feeling about who you're dating, if you're not getting a good feeling about the school your children are in, but you don't know why, you need to investigate that. Okay, side issue. Insider says talk of Ron Paul Romney alliance's establishment trick. CIA NATO front group drafts humanitarian aid for Syria, like the same aid you saw in Libya. Now, this is the big news. Red linked on Infowars.com, and I'll tell you about it when we come back. This is big news. Stay with us. We are back live. Coming up, after I get into Obama playing the race card and more, I'm going to get into our top story today. Report more than 100,000 Americans are domestic terrorists. Paul Watson is reporting there what the whole Homeland Security grid is really for, is we the people. Also, the birth of world government with Dr. Michael Kaufman, key report up at Infowars.com on that. Another big report, the feds are openly expanding their war against raw milk all over the country. Even though they don't have jurisdiction, they're trying to shut it down. And just a lot more today that we're going to be going over. But I want to direct your attention first to a video we're going to play here in a moment. And instead of just playing the video and then analyzing it, I'm going to analyze it, play it, and then go over even more of it, because there's so many facets here. But what is it that is illegal in this video? Is it that he's saying African Americans for Obama, when if any other group was doing something like that, it would be called racism and racial pandering? And when the very Democrats that are doing this constantly lecture everyone that they can't have racial identity, including white people? And again, folks, you know I'm not into the whole race stuff. I get criticized for talking about blacks having medical experiments done on them. Well, facts are facts. About half the time they declassified something, it's black people being tested on. The system does do that. I mean, I want everybody to do good, be happy, win-win. I don't even usually get into these subjects because I understand it's a tar baby meant to get us all fighting with each other. But this is so outrageous, I've got to cover it. No, it's not the race baiting, and that's in there, and I'm going to comment on that. It's not claiming he's the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King, when he stands against everything. You think Martin Luther King would support secretly arresting citizens and killing them? The Pentagon announced again yesterday they're going to kill U.S. citizens, including in the U.S., anytime they want, no judge or jury. I mean, just outrageous. I mean, if Putin did that, it would be all over the news, and should be. I mean, this is just incredible. No, it's not the hypocriticalness. It's not the deception. It's not all of that. It's not him saying, do your fair share and everybody's got to give more when he works for the mega banks that are destroying us. That's all the lies and hypocrisy and out-of-control deception they think they can sell because he's got, you know, darker skin. I think Obama's probably about as black as I am. The point is that he says, have your vote leaders, your vote squads, your vote teams, your election teams inside the churches get me elected. And it's your duty, basically, churches, to get me elected. Now, listen, I want to be clear here. It's not illegal to have churches involved politically. But the federal government says it is and shuts churches down that do get politically involved. Now, I can read the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or the press, or the people for the right to assemble and redress the government. I mean, that's the First Amendment. Go read the First Amendment. The first thing in the First Amendment is Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That means, that's pretty iron tight for you lawyers out there. I mean, that means you can't establishment or what somebody sets up, and you have no jurisdiction over anything and once it's set up. That's separation of church and state. They've turned it around backwards and just through fraud. I mean, there's no law you got to take vaccines. They're taking people's kids and arresting folks. And the cops are dumb. The juries are dumb. The judges lie. They'll always send them to jail for something else, you'll notice. But they do it. There is no law. They're shut down raw milk producers. As long as it's not over state lines, they're doing it. Law saying any of this. There's no law you got to take vaccines. They lie and tell you there is. So you're saying, well, then what's illegal? I mean, if the churches are allowed to do this, well, not allowed, you have no jurisdiction. It's not like the government gives you this right. It's already there. That's what our system of government's different. Government isn't the final thing. We, the people, are above the government. You understand that? I know you understand that, but then what's illegal? What's illegal is that he is out there. I see it in the news all the time. They have the feds sending letters to churches, reminding them, I've seen these even lately, telling Baptist churches in Austin, Texas, people brought me the letters and I've called and confirmed it, Catholic churches, you name it, saying, do not even discuss politics with your friends in the pews or at Sunday school or if you go to a church picnic. You don't discuss, like it's the Soviet Union at the church picnic, who you're voting for. That's what the feds, the IRS, are telling people and telling them it's the law. Of course, not mentioning the law, just saying it's the law. And doing this while Obama's saying, churches, get out there and vote for me right now. Okay, get out there and use your churches as campaign arms. I'm going to play you the clip of this when we come back.
March.
This is big news.
Empire's on the run.
There's a lot of facets to this video and audio I'm about to play, but you can go to the official Barack Obama website, presidential campaign website. They have their own website for this as well, a separate site for the campaign. President Obama announces the 2012 launch of African Americans for Obama. And on the surface of that, you think, well, okay, why is Obama getting to campaign racially? But if white people did that, it'd be the end of the world. Let's just be honest. It's natural in every culture and every society for people to tend to want to be part of a cultural group. That's normal. It's not bad to do that. It's wrong to hate people because of whatever group it is. And, of course, people from different, human groups can love each other or whatever. But the point is, it's not dirty and bad to want to be black or want to be white or want to be Hispanic or want to be Asian or whatever. If a Japanese person wants to marry a Japanese person, that's not bad. If a Jewish person wants to marry a Jewish person, That's not bad. Well, why is it bad if a European wants to marry a European? This is just because the New World Order sees whites as the dominant group. And it just simply wants to play all the other groups off against that, not because the New World Order cares about those groups, but because it wants to create a divide and conquer scenario and basically break down any group that is seen as dominant or cohesive. The system wants to get rid of families as well across the board. The system wants all of us to accept their phony corporate culture. Whatever culture you want to be part of, whether you want to reinvent yourself or you come from the countryside and you want to be a redneck or whether you want to be a hip-hop person, I don't care. I'm into science, literature, history, freedom. My identity is the Magna Carta Constitution. My identification is with freedom and human potential. But then when I'm attacked because I'm white and told you must be bad because you're white, and then I'm supposed to act all guilty and say, oh, yes, I'm sorry. Well, that just isn't how it works. I've transcended all of that. But I realize most people haven't, because even if you want to transcend it, other people haven't. So even if you don't dislike them for what color they are, they think you dislike them, and they're looking for you to do something, and a lot of folks take whatever you do and spin it around. Kind of like, you know, the driving while black thing. Well, that guy's a black guy. He must be a criminal. You know, I'm a black guy in a white neighborhood. I must not be welcome here. It's incredible. A few times I've had Hispanic friends over, you know, at my house. And I say a few times because I hardly have anybody at my house. And back when I lived in the city, and of course I had neighbors that were Hispanic, black, you name it, but they would see like 3 or 4 white neighbors out, and they'd be like, you think I'm welcome around here? And I'm like, you're joking, right? And they're like, oh, no, I'm not joking. So, it shows how this is there. And are there snobby groups everywhere? Yeah, if I went to some country club here in Florida, you know, where there's people on average who are probably worth $10 million a piece there at their country club, they're going to come over, even if I'm wearing the perfect blazer and white shirt with the cufflinks and everything, and pull up, you know, in the perfect car and everything. They're still going to come over and ask if I'm a local or part of their group, and they're going to kind of act a little snooty on average, not because they dislike me because I'm a white guy wearing the right suit, but because that's part of their enjoyment. That's part of the tribalism. It's part of the satisfaction that smaller-minded people get from being part of an end group. And that happens everywhere. I mean, I grew up in Dallas and would walk down the street with one of my black friends want to play basketball or baseball, and they'd say, listen, honky, cracker, get out of here. And they'd be like, oh, just that old man, he's racist. People are people. I'm going to go to my guest turn. It's just that Obama is now playing a race card with this, and it's wrong. If people pointing out black racism against whites, which is very bad in the areas, I mean, it's gotten so bad and so acceptable that you've seen in the last, 5 years, all over the country, groups of black youth beating up white people. And it's on video. It's happening everywhere. Does that mean average black folks are doing that? No. But young, gangbanger type kids that are watching MTV, the culture where that's cool, they think it's funny. And they also beat each other up. You know, and white gangs do it too. They beat each other up, and they beat up other groups of people. The point is, call it what it is when black gangs are racially attacking whites or Hispanics are attacking whites. Why is it always acceptable when whites get attacked? Why, when a white guy defends himself on the New York subway from